Bonnie, preseason, all WCC, heading into the season right now. How's everything feeling?
Really exciting. Just kind of like the flow that we have right now is super exciting to see, and kind of like the growth that we're going to get later in the season. I'm just excited for it all.
And then you've been practicing, getting ready all summer for this. You're just over a week away from your first exhibition game. Just how
Yeah.
excited are you for the season to finally start?
Like really excited. I feel like all of the training and stuff like that, like it's all fun and stuff like that. But when we really just get to play together as a team on the court, I feel like that's going to be the best part. So once that starts ramping up, I feel like we're really going to feel like how this season is. So I'm excited for that part, definitely.
What's the next step in your game and the evolution of your game for this season?
Definitely just expanding myself out from the perimeter, making myself a threat at all positions on the court. I feel like that's something that I'm training towards and have been training towards. So hopefully that like develops well throughout the season.
Sorry, Jim. You still got a couple of weeks before you play the first game. It counts. Does it still seem like it's a mile away, the season?
A little bit. Like these couple of weeks, I feel like they sometimes go a little bit slower than we want them to. So it feels like it's a while away. But once that like first game comes to like oh it's tomorrow, I feel like I'm really gonna be like wow, it got here a lot quicker than I thought it would.
You've been coming off the bench the last couple of years, and I guess well, we don't know for sure, but we think you might be starting. What might that be like?
I hope it's not anything different, like just being on the court and stuff like that with my teammates. Whether I'm coming off the bench or whether I'm starting, like we're still playing our basketball. So I hope that stays like super similar and consistent throughout this year.
Probably get a little more attention from other teams now. They know who you are. So what's that going to be like mentally?
Also exciting, I guess. Kind of like just the thrill of like having that extra competition that I get to play against. I feel like that's like the real fun that we get to play in basketball.
I mean, does it feel like the season is still a mile away?
No, it feels like it's here. We're getting to that point where you're trying to figure out what we haven't put in yet, what we need in time, which offensive schemes, what defenses we need to get better at. So I would say no. I feel like we're supposed to have a scrimmage on Sunday, and then the exhibition's a week from, week and a half out, and against a really good team. Sometimes the exhibitions are against teams who just want to bring a player back to Spokane because they're from here. I mean, we're playing a really good team. They were a national runner-up in the Division II last year, so they're really good. So I think it feels like it's right here, and I think we're where we're supposed to be. We're not behind, nor are we ahead. So, but it feels about right.
Is it time to play somebody else?
Yes.
I mean, you'd only get to a point before you need to play somebody else to continue to improve. Is it time?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we scrimmaged our practice guys this weekend, and just that, even though we go against them every day, just having someone else who we can be all united on one side of the ball, because in practice against them we're split up still, usually in two different teams or whatever. So I think we're definitely ready to have someone who can't cheat the play and who doesn't know the play call, and just who we don't feel bad beating up on, to be on the other side of the ball.
What do you look for in an exhibition in those first ones in the early part of the season?
I think just it's a good way for us to. We don't have a lot of new people. We've got 4 people who haven't played a real game in front of our crowd. So I think you want to get your feet wet in front of the crowd. People who are in new roles, you want them to get out there and try to do what they're going to try to do this season for us in front of fans. But really just get started. I think it's generally a way to warm up to whoever your first opponent is. Again, this year with the scheduling, it's not quite like that. But I think just get out there, get up and down, get started. You have to start somewhere, so it's just usually an easy spot to start with is a little bit less pressure, and knowing that it doesn't count against us. Even if it doesn't go well, it's still not going to count against us. We want to perform well, but let's just get our feet wet and then be ready to go for the first one that goes on the record book.
Coach, you've got a Becky Hammond Award watch list player on your team. How has Brenna assimilated into the team, and what does she bring that we haven't seen yet?
Yeah, she does a great job. I think the scoring is the thing that people are most familiar with, the three-point shooting specifically. But Brenna, I think, has an incredible competitiveness. That's something, we play a lot of Family Feud, and we do a lot of goofy games like that with our team, and she is actually angry when she doesn't win. The competitive nature that she has is not something we knew as an opponent. or as recruiting coaches before she came here to play for us. And then I think very similar to what Sierra Walker did for us last year was we needed a rebounder somewhere through in the season, or maybe she had a couple games where she struggled to shoot it, and she was determined to do what we needed, do something else, right? Because she's a similar player. People thought of her mostly as a shooter, and Brenna looks like that right now. She looks desperate to find any way to earn herself minutes on the court. She's rebounding. She's not naturally tall or overly athletic. I mean, she's tall for a guard, I suppose, but not like our bigger players. And she's just tenacious when it comes to that. So, and I think the competitive part of her is she's trying to compete in every drill to win it, or to get that ball, or to make that shot. And so I think that's something that's new and that kind of sets her apart.
And then tough non-con schedule this year. You got to face Louisville and Stanford. Just how excited are you guys as a team for those challenges, and what are you looking forward to most?
Yeah, we put together a great schedule every year. I think this year is no different. Stanford has become a little bit of a, I don't know if it's a rival, it's something that we all look forward to every year since we've played them. Probably something like the last Jim would know, the last 15 or 14 years we've played them, most years unless we were in the same tournament as them. So a lot of back and forth with those guys. So I think they're picked, second or third or something like that in the country right now preseason, and I think they're going to live up to that most likely. So good to challenge ourselves with them. We'll play Louisville prior to that, and then whoever else we get out in the battle for Atlantis. And I think you just mid-November you want to test yourself after you played a few games and see where you are, and that's what those tournaments are for us, and that's what that Stanford game is for us, is see how ready we are to be the team we want to be in the end of the season, where we're at. And so that's for us. I think we're always looking forward to it. We always want to beat them, but they just tell you a lot about your team when you play the better teams in the country. And so we're grateful to have the opportunity for both of them and whoever else comes along the way.
Lisa, are you ready yet to talk about a possible starting lineup at this point, and whether we might see two twins out there starting at the same time?
You might. Today they're going to be on the floor together. We're kind of alternating. Some with the 3-point guards, we kind of have Peyton on her own some days, and then the Trong with one of them each, in the other days. And they're doing a really good job with each other. They're working hard on their defense and rebounding. I think when you put them both on the floor, your offensive efficiency goes up, but then the size goes down a little bit. So we're trying to figure out how we can best counter those things. But I'm still not ready to tell you who's starting because I don't know. And after whoever starts the first one, it might be different on the second one. But you're going to see them out there plenty together, yes. And they'll be happy about that, I promise you. All the twins I've coached have loved playing with their twin sister.
How are Maud and Eliza looking right now?
Great.
That maybe possibly that other starter?
Yeah, I mean, most likely to be one of them. I don't know which, but they're both doing a really good job. Eliza's leadership has taken off this year. It wasn't something that we really pushed her to do. I think she saw that there is a need for someone to speak up, and she's in a position age-wise to where that could be her. And I think steadiness, she's a very steady person, so it is a natural fit. And I think she's also experienced injuries. She's experienced redshirting. She's experienced being on the bench. And so a lot of the players can connect with the things that she had to go through in her first couple of years. Maut is she's the next version of a Mel or a Shelby Cheslick where she doesn't have a bad day of practice. She brings energy, positivity, she tries as hard as she can. She's getting better at all the basketball parts. She's finishing well, she's rebounding more. So they've been really great, both of them. When they're on the team together, we rotate them all around, and when they're on a team together, they're really hard to stop. They find each other well, they communicate. And they're both good shooters, so I think there's a lot of positive coming from both of them. I'm really happy with the way that they've been playing this fall.
Anybody else?
Talking about the off season, you're a 3-time Hall of Famer now. Just how cool was that for you and your family?
It's kind of embarrassing to talk about. I would say the best part about it is how the people who are at those places feel about it. Like when I was at the high school one, my high school teachers and coaches and my parents, my dad and my grandma went to the same high school, and so they were excited about it, and so that makes me feel excited for them, kind of. I think it's of course an honor. I was surprised by all 3 of them, and it's fun to be, when we went to Butte, it was fun that Jody got to be there with me because she coached me there, and we started at Butte together. And now that we get to be up here in Spokane together. So I think it was more those kind of things, but I loved all of my educational experiences. Each of those spots were really special. Monterey's where I kind of started dating Craig, and obviously that's gone well so far. So I think I have pretty good memories from each of those places, and I really enjoyed all my time there. So it's fun to be cemented as a part of them in that way, because they all certainly are with me in my heart. So.